Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Introducing from Atlantic City, New Jersey, weighing in at 210 pounds, your Italian hero, Joey Image!
Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. This is Joey Image here with That Image Guy, episode 16. I hope everyone's having a great weekend. I hope y'all are doing well. I myself am having a terrific weekend. Spent Friday night at the Clash Bar in Clifton, New Jersey, watching my boys in Match Party rock the house. They did a terrific job. It was recorded, so I don't know if it's going to be actually released on YouTube in its entirety or if they're just going to add clips or something like that, but I'll keep you posted, of course. They were terrific, though, just so you know. That was Friday night. Saturday, I went during the day to the Strange Exchange, which is a weird, wacky kind of flea market produced by Weird New Jersey Magazine. It took place in Montclair at the Wellmont Theater, which is a terrific venue. I've seen concerts there. I've seen stand-up comedy there. I've seen spoken word shows there. If you haven't been to the Wellmont Theater, look up their website. Check out something there. It's a really great venue. So this flea market was just like weird, wacky stuff. I mean, there were people selling old T-shirts. I guess it's really not that wacky, but it's got some unique stuff there. Let's put it that way. I bought some coasters that are basically made of ceramic tile with pictures from movies and music-related acts printed on them. I bought a couple of those, some Godfather ones. There was a couple of Goodfellas ones I bought, some Sid Vicious and the Sex Pistols ones. Really cool stuff. I don't know if they have a website for those coasters, but I will have to find that out and let y'all know. They're really cool. Saturday night, I had dinner with my girlfriend, and then we went back to her house and watched the Mets game, which was brilliantly played, by the way. The Mets played a solid game of baseball, came up with the win 4-2. And I will say this, while I am a Mets fan, I was very impressed with the home run by Swisher, whatever the hell that guy's name is, Schwarber, whatever, from the Cubs. Beautiful home run, nice hit, great pitch, nice solid shot right out of there, man. So, again, man, I'll give credit where credit's due. I'm a Mets fan. But that hit definitely impressed me. It was by Schwarber, by the way. I think it was late in the game, too. 8th inning, maybe top of the 9th, I don't know. But it was a hell of a shot. All right, so we've got Periscope live right now. We've got 13 people in the chat room, down from 41, which really doesn't make me happy, but whatever. Let's see what Periscope's got to say. I'm going to do about I want to go maybe 30 minutes. We're just going to talk back and forth the Periscope to the live chat. That will be today's episode. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. What do you got me, Periscope? Now you're all quiet. People are talking forever, and now it's just quiet, man. What's going on? Third Star Wars trailer is set to be released Monday. Yes, I saw the first one. I didn't see the second one. I know the poster came out today, but Anthony, speaking of that, what I found interesting about the poster, no Luke Skywalker. Comes out December 18th. I will be there, hopefully opening day, if I can score tickets. I will definitely be there. I just saw the Steve Jobs movie on Friday night, the new one, which just came out. Actually, it hasn't even come out yet. Comes out October 23rd. I went to a preview screening. Not a terrible movie. I will talk more about that in tomorrow's episode, where I run down the Steve Jobs trilogy. That is Jobs with Ashton Kutcher, Steve Jobs, the Man in the Machine documentary, and Steve Jobs with the Aaron Sorkin movie. I missed whatever was just said in the Periscope chat room. Periscope, as you know, the chat flies by, and it disappears after 10 seconds. I haven't seen Luke at all on any of the trailers. I don't know. I wonder if there's something to that. Like, what's going on with Luke that he's not in? I know Mark Hamill's in the movie, but it's odd that he's not in... Oh, well, I shouldn't say that, actually. I don't know that he's in the movie. I know that he's signed up for, I thought I heard that he was agreed to do it. But no Luke Skywalker on the poster. No Luke Skywalker in the trailer. Odd. I don't know what that means. I know he's in it, like I said, Anthony. I know he's in it, yeah. But weird that there's been 3 or 4 promotional items, I guess, so far, as of, referring to the official trailers, the official poster, and I don't see him anywhere. It's weird. So, what else do we got going on? Thoughts on No Nerdtacular? Not happy. Again, not up to me, though, obviously. Not happy about it, but it's not a terrible thing. I'm not pissed off at Scott or anything like that. You know, if there's none in 2016, I'll go 2017. The cool thing about it is it does open me up for Dragon Con, which I will likely go to. And cool thing about Dragon Con is it's not till September, so it's got, you know, got a ton of time to save to be able to afford it. And it's also on the East Coast. So it's in Atlanta, which is, I don't know, 9 or 10 hour drive. So I could basically drive there as opposed to paying $500 or $600 for a flight out to Utah. That's going to save me a lot of spending money. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to Nerdtacular in 2017. It should be a very, very big... Obviously, it will be the biggest show to date because it will be the 10-year anniversary. So I'm looking forward to that. And as I said, it leaves me open to attend Dragon Con, which I've been trying to get to for the last 2 or 3 years. I haven't yet. And the cool thing about Dragon Con is they always do a wrestling show on that Friday night. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday like any other convention. But on Friday night, Dragon Con does a wrestling show, which I think is going to be awesome. I know people that were there last year. I know people that were there in 2015 on the wrestling show. So hopefully 2016 I'll be able to go. Maybe I can do something on the show. I have no idea. Maybe I can't. We'll find out. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. All right. So what else we got? Rise and Fall of Tower Records released in October 2016. Wow, I thought that was releasing this year. I love Tower Records, and I miss Tower Records. I used to go to the one in Paramus on Route 17 right by me constantly. I mean, I would go there just to hang out sometimes without even buying anything or without even... Oh, it is October 15th. It is 2015. Oh, that's my girlfriend that told me that. Hey, babe. So I'm looking forward to that, man. I love Tower Records. I miss Tower Records. I used to go to the Paramus Route 17 location here in Jersey all the time just to hang out. Not even... I mean, there were times where I bought stuff, but I would go in there sometimes without the intention of buying anything and always end up buying something. And it was cool to just hang out there for hours. And they had a local section. So if you go to... when you walk in the store that I used to go to, the first rack right in front of you was called Local Acts, or... now you call it indie artists, but back then it was called Local Acts. So it was all local people, local bands. My buddies, Rest Assured, had their stuff there a lot. And it was cool that Tower, this big, you know, national record store chain place, it was cool that they supported local acts and local music. So I used to always go in there. There were times where I would go in there and just look for the local stuff. It was really cool, man. Great store. Will I go see the WoW movie? Absolutely, man. I'm going to go on the day it comes out, man. Shit. They're doing there's going to be something, not Nerdtacular, but something Nerdtacular related in Utah. Scott Johnson's going to rent a movie theater for a screening of the Warcraft movie. He's mentioned something like that on Twitter. I would love to go to that just to be with all those guys, but just to watch the movie, I probably wouldn't. If there was more going on the entire weekend, I would consider it. But just to watch the movie, I wouldn't, because again, you know, a Dragon Con, I want to hopefully save that money for Dragon Con, so I can do that on the East Coast. But I am looking forward to the Warcraft movie. We saw my pictures from Comic-Con last weekend. There was a huge Warcraft booth, Warcraft movie booth at Comic-Con that had like props, and there was the company that made some of the props. They were there, like, not making stuff, but they were showing their process. They had videos showing them making stuff, so I'm really looking forward to it. We got 11 people in Periscope. We're down from 41, which is super upsetting. But we had a whole bunch of people in there going crazy before. Assassin's Creed, the movie, comes out when? I didn't even know they were making an Assassin's Creed movie. I haven't played anything. Actually, I haven't played any of them since Assassin's Creed 3. I do know a guy that made Unity, December of 2016. I'll probably check that out. I'm sure by December I will have played at least one more Assassin's Creed game. But I've only played Assassin's Creed 3. I got the PS3 bundle that came with it. So apparently Michael Fassbender is starring in Assassin's Creed also. I really don't want to talk about the Steve Jobs stuff now, because I'm going to do a whole episode just dedicated to that. But I don't know if I was into him or not in Steve Jobs. He definitely was not... he definitely didn't look like him. I can tell you that much. I mean, just putting glasses and short hair on a guy doesn't make him look like another guy. You know what? I'll get into it tomorrow. I'll talk about all 3 movies then. I don't really want to get into it now because it's a whole long thing. And I realize talking specifically about the Steve Jobs movie and the Steve Jobs trilogy of movies is really not for everybody. I look fabulous. Caden, holy crap, Chris Caden. How you doing, bro? After your surgery. I know you just had surgery. Chris Caden, big international wrestling superstar. Looks good as an assassin. The movie was made up for the movie. A lot of the movie was made up. Oh, I know. A lot of the Steve Jobs movie was not accurate. The new one, at least. But again, I'll talk about all that tomorrow. I have some very in-depth points I want to bring up regarding all three movies. But yeah, so Chris Caden's in the chat. Thanks, man. Is it worth seeing? I don't want to talk about it. I said a million times I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. I'll talk about it tomorrow, the Steve Jobs stuff. But anyway, you're good, man. You're good. All right, bro. Are you home yet, or you're still in the hospital? So back to Fassbender real quick. I don't know if he was believable, Steve Jobs. He didn't. Sure as hell didn't look like him. You're home. Good, man. Good to hear. He sure didn't look like him. But I don't know. It's hard to talk about the movie without talking about the movie. I will deal with it tomorrow. Sorry. Favorite sci-fi movie? Sci-fi like the genre or sci-fi the network? Because the way you type sci-fi, S-Y-F-Y, that's the network. Sci-fi the genre would be like S-C-I-F-I. Favorite sci-fi movie? Probably They Live with Roddy Piper. That was a goddamn terrific movie. But yeah, that's how sci-fi spells sci-fi network, S-Y-F-Y. So that's what kind of confused me. But yeah, I'd say They Live with Piper. Super believable. Of course, I mean, you can buy glasses and see people through their skin, right? I do that all the time. I have sunglasses that let me see through people's skin. It's awesome. I'd make a great doctor if I had those, because I can see what the hell's wrong with you without looking at you. I could look at Chris Caden rolling into the hospital and just put my shades on and go, oh, dude's got a broken femur. Let's fix that bad boy. Or whatever the hell the deal is, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, oh man. So, what else is going on? What do we got going on today? Anthony's chilling, watching Lord of the Rings. I haven't seen it in a very long time. I have the extended edition on Blu-ray of all three of them, and I don't know. I fell asleep during the... I've really given it a shot. Lord of the Rings, I've given it a chance. I know the extended editions are like 3 hours each or something like that, and I've tried twice now to watch the first one, and I fell asleep both times, and I feel bad about that, because the thing about Lord of the Rings is that it's so fantasy related, obviously, like Dungeons and Dragons, like World of Warcraft, like D&D, that kind of stuff, AD&D, that kind of stuff, and I love all that shit, but just for some reason I can't, it just doesn't grab me enough, I guess. I don't really know why. I will definitely have to give Lord of the Rings another shot. I know, I see someone said it's much better than The Hobbit, but I remember The Hobbit from when I was a kid, and, I remember that kind of story. Maybe there was a comic book or something, I don't know. But I remember that, and, I don't know, I couldn't get into Lord of the Rings as a movie. I just fell asleep both times I tried it. I guess I gotta give it, like, a serious shot and just try to kind of sit and pay attention. But I don't know if I can give it the whole 3 hours. I don't know. I gotta, maybe I'll just skip the first one and just move right on. The cartoon Hobbit, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, I remember that. Senior year of high school, we saw Lord of the Rings in my theology class. I don't know. I would have fell asleep in that class. I would have failed because I would have fell asleep. Couldn't watch the whole thing. Ellie, what's up, my buddy? Good morning, good afternoon to you, I should say. Good afternoon. It is a little bit after 3 p.m. Yeah, I think that's the thing. It was just too long for me. The extended 3 hours. Maybe if I watch the regular version, I don't have the standard version. I'm sure it's on Netflix or I can find it online somewhere. But I really felt like I would love Lord of the Rings just based on what it's based on. That I love that kind of stuff. So I really felt like I would love it. So I didn't get the standard. I bought the extendeds, thinking like, wow, like I'm gonna see this one. I'm gonna see the standard and then want to see the rest of everything that was cut out or whatever. So I figured I just went right. I would just go right to the extended edition, and now I'm like, oh man, they're so freaking long. I can't do it. I'll give Lord of the Rings another shot eventually. I don't know when. Maybe I'll try the standard edition and see if that doesn't make me fall asleep so quickly. I feel bad saying that too, because Peter Jackson's a terrific director. I like him a lot. But I saw Anthony earlier ask me what's my favorite horror movie. Halloween, the original Halloween. And I think nowadays horror is defined by how much blood's in a movie, which is stupid. Because, to me, that's just gore. That doesn't really... There's no genre for that. It's just gore. It's stupid. I like horror, like the original Halloween from 79 or whatever it was, 78, because that was more... It was more of a thriller, I think, than a horror movie, which is kind of what I like. Again, like, horror, to me, lately, is just gore. Like Anthony just said in the chat, horror should... scare you, not make you want to puke. It's like, not the same, I think. It's not the same. Now, if the original Halloween 1 came out today in 2015, it would be labeled a thriller because there's not a lot of blood. There's blood in it, yeah. There's killing in it, but there's not a lot of blood. It's not overly gory. Even the Rob Zombie version was overly gory, I think. Like, the Rob Zombie version was just a bunch of blood, a bunch of sex, and a bunch of, cursing. It was stupid to me. It's like, I put my dick in a girl, then I bleed, and then I say, fuck. That's it. That's the whole movie. It's stupid. It wasn't scary at all. It was just a bunch of gore. It was not scary at all. I didn't even bother, as much as I love the entire Halloween series, except for Halloween 3, I didn't even bother watching Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's version of Halloween 2, because Halloween 1, the Rob Zombie version, was so terrible. Like, I don't know. I think he should just stick to music. I never saw Devil's Rejects, never gave a shit about that. As much as I'm a Diamond Dallas Page fan, never cared about the movie Devil's Rejects. Never cared about House of a Thousand Corpses. I don't get it. It's not horror to me. It's just gore, and gore should be its own separate genre. I mean, like I said, I don't need to see a bucket of blood to be. That doesn't scare me. I have blood. Blood's in my body. It doesn't scare me. A knife coming out my head, that's not a normal part of me. That would scare me. But yeah, I mean, it's not. It's like Anthony said in the Periscope. Horror is meant to scare you, not make you want to puke. Reasons like that is why I appreciate the original Halloween movie, which I was just told by Chris Caden that they're actually Mustafa Akkad, who produced the original, is making a new one, which I am super interested in. I had no idea, but I'm super interested in seeing that now. I don't know. Do you know when it's coming out at all, Caden? Or even if it's already started filming or anything like that? Anthony never saw the movie Underworld. Never interested me. I saw previews of it, just didn't interest me. I think there's 3 of them. But yeah, my favorite horror movie would be the original Halloween, followed by the original Halloween 2. Don't know. They started writing it, though. I'm very interested in that. And I wonder what the premise is going to be, if it takes place years later or, if it takes place back then. It would be really cool if there was a movie, like if Mustafa Akkad, who, again, produced the original Halloween series, or a few of them at least, but it would have been cool if, the originals, actually, he made a Halloween 3, to replace the Season of the Witch Halloween 3 that followed the whole storyline. It takes place after the third? It should take place after the second. What? That doesn't make any sense. Oh my god. It would be cool, though, if they made one to replace Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and then, to fit in that storyline, 30 years later now, Jesus Christ, almost 40 years later, I guess, right? Because if the first one took place in 78 or 79, this is 2015, right? Halloween 78, so 88, 98, 2008, so 7 years, so 37 years. Christ. So almost 37 years ago that the other one came out. It would be cool if someone was like, hey, so during Halloween 3, where was Michael Myers at? Well, what was he doing? Was he out making new masks or killing people in some other state? Or was he banging girls or going to concerts? Or was he smoking weed? Or what the hell was he doing? So it would be awesome if somebody, specifically Akkad, who, again, the original producer, would make a brand new Halloween 3 to replace Season of the Witch, to answer all those questions as to where Michael Myers was when that was happening, because Halloween 4, it was the return of Michael Myers. So I don't understand, Halloween 2 was the hospital one at the end where we saw him kind of stagger out of the thing, and then he fell and blew up or whatever, and the mask he showed burning. And then Halloween 3, obviously he had nothing to do with it, and Halloween 4 was the return. But I want to know, the return from what? Because he was shot 6 times at the end of 1, fell off the balcony of the house, landed in the yard, disappeared. Came back in the second one. There was the hospital scene at the end where he burnt up, showed the mask burning, thought that was it. Halloween 3 shows up, Season of the Witch. So when Halloween 3 came out, when I first saw it, I was a little kid. My sister used to like those movies. That's how I saw it. So I thought, all right, Halloween 3 has nothing to do with Michael Myers or Haddonfield or Laurie Strode or anything like that. I thought maybe he was just gone. That was it. He died in 2, and they were going to continue the series, maybe with a new killer or something like that. But apparently that wasn't the case, because 4 was the return of Michael Myers. So I want to know what he returned from. Did he go to fucking Idaho to grow potatoes for a year? I don't know. Did he go to Maine to eat lobster? I mean, who the hell? Can he get lobster through that little mask? Can you do that? Maybe he cut a hole in the mask so he can eat some lobster and he went to Maine. I don't know. But, I want to know what he returned from. So I think it would be awesome. Even, I guess not even, it doesn't even have to be Mustafa Akkad. It could be, I want to say it could be almost anybody that could create a Halloween 3 to replace Season of the Witch. But if it was Rob Zombie, I probably wouldn't watch it. I think if it was Wes Craven, if it was, I know Wes Craven passed away, but if it was Wes Craven that would have created one, or John Carpenter, or even if John Carpenter and Wes Craven could have collaborated and made one together, I'd see that. And I know that Mustafa Akkad created all of them, and I know that he passed away like, I don't know, a decade ago maybe 8 years or 10 years or 12 years ago. So when I say his name, I'm talking about his son. I don't even know the son's name. I actually thought the son's name was also Mustafa, but I'm not sure. So I know every time I've just said his name, I'm talking about his son, who I think was named Mustafa, but I'm not sure. But his son was also a film director, a producer, taking over the reins, I guess you would say, of their company. So I think, even though it's his father's work, because again, the original guy did create Season of the Witch, Halloween 3, even though it's his original work, I think it would still be cool if his son would create well, again, his son or, other guys, anybody else. But it would be cool if there was just a replacement piece, an updated Halloween 3. But, moving on. I think my second favorite horror movie, and my first being the original Halloween series, my second, I think, being Scream, the first Scream movie, because that didn't have a lot of gore. There was some blood in it, but there didn't have a lot of gore. It wasn't overly Rob Zombie gore, but it had scares, it had thrills, I guess that's the word. And it was very, who did it? Like, it was hard to figure out. I realized in the beginning of the movie, if you picked up on it, it was given away as to who the killer was. If you picked up on the facial expressions and, the tone of voice, I think it was given away early. But I think that's Scream. I think Scream is one of the best horror movies of the modern era, at least. I saw that in the theater the night it came out, and I've been in love with that movie ever since. I watch it maybe once a month. Scream 2 was great. Scream 2 was great, I think, because... I shouldn't say that. Scream 2 was good. I think because it was obvious that there was going to be a copycat, and just the way that they did it, especially at the end, and spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this movie that came out 20 years ago, or whatever it was, I'm going to spoil it for you now. Ooh. The way that they did the ending, where they revealed the killer, and they said, here's the killer right there, and then the door opens, and Courtney Cox comes out, and you think, holy shit, Gail Weathers, the reporter, she was the secret, copycat killer. She shakes her head no, and then suddenly Aunt Jackie shows up, I think with a gun to her back, maybe, or a knife, kind of forcing her to walk out of that door before her, so you would think that Courtney Cox was the killer. And then, Aunt Jackie shows up, and Roseanne's nowhere to be found, so I don't know what happened to her. But I love the way that they did that, how they worked the crowd into thinking, holy crap, the weatherman, or the weather woman, is the killer, and then it wasn't. I thought that was brilliant. And it's also kind of, one thing I remember, I don't know why I'll never forget this, but in the previews, the original previews for Scream 2, when the other killer grabs the sound voice recorder gimmick and says don't you know history repeats itself? When they played it in the preview, it was in the Ghostface voice, but in the movie itself, it was just in the guy's regular voice, which I always thought was weird. Why would they not, have it in the Ghostface voice? But that was 2. I think Scream 3 was the one where they revealed that Sidney had a brother, that Neve Campbell had a brother. I think that was Scream 3, right? That was probably not the best one of the series. It wasn't that terrific. I don't remember which one was. I guess the college one was 2, so that was good. 1 was great, 2 was good, 3 was, I could have done without 3. 4 I thought was awesome, because 4, to me, seemed like a real sequel to 1. And I know it was supposed to be like bookends, 4 was supposed to kind of mirror, not necessarily mirror 1, but be as similar and as true to the first one as it could possibly be, more than the other 2. So I think 1 and 4 are the best 2 of that series. How do I feel about the Jason series? I was never a big fan. I've actually been to Crystal Lake. I got in a fist fight on Crystal Lake and had my lips split open. But yeah, the Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th series I never really got into. I feel like I want to buy the set on Blu-ray because it's old school horror, and I know the original ones are not super gory. I know there's a lot of blood in them, but there's a lot more scary stuff. Again, I like that. I like the less blood, more scares style, I guess is the right word. So I know that there's a lot of that in it, at least in the first few, but I just haven't, just never really got into it. Wasn't for me, really. But again, I have been there to where Crystal Lake is and where that first one was filmed. And I know that Jason Voorhees was not the killer in the first movie. So if I was in Scream 1, I would have gotten that correct and would have been saved. But I think I'm going to take a couple more questions here. We'll talk about 1 or 2 more topics, and then I got to take off. I got to get this edited and upload it. It's already at 30 minutes, so I've got to edit this and get it uploaded so I can get it released on iTunes. And I also submitted it's weird that iTunes, I just put in the RSS feed and it says, okay, here you go, you're good to go, here's the link. But I went to Stitcher Radio, and you actually have to apply to be accepted by Stitcher Radio, which is weird to me. And I haven't gotten an email back yet. Let me actually check that out, because I sent the Stitcher application 4 or 5 days ago. Never heard anything back, so I think that's kind of odd. What do you think of the Saw series? Never watched any of them. I've heard that they're just gore. I'm not a big gore guy, so I never watched them. I'm trying to think of what other like horror movies I thought were awesome. There's not really a lot. I mean, I feel like I should love horror movies more than I do. What's your favorite football team? I don't know. I don't watch football. So I think just Scream 1, Halloween 1 are my top 2 favorite horror movies, along with both of those series. And coincidentally, Scream, Halloween, and Scream are my 2 favorite horror series. And coincidentally, part 3 of each is awful. After the third Saw, it was just gore, all gore, no story. What about the first 2? What about the first 3? So coincidentally, the third part of both of my favorite series is the worst in the series. Again, Scream 3 was okay, but just, I don't know, wasn't up to par with the rest of the series. If you're going to watch Scream, watch it, because you have to watch them in order as a full series. It just wasn't terrific. Same thing with Halloween. Well, you know what? Not the same thing with Halloween, because Halloween, you could skip part 3 and not miss any of the stories. So Halloween, you can watch 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, blah, 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 all the way up to the end and not miss anything, because 3 had nothing to do with the story. But Scream, you have to watch 1, 2, 3, and 4, even though 3 wasn't really that terrific. So that's that. And now that I know that there's a new Halloween coming out, I am very, very interested in seeing that. I got to look that up on some website. I had no idea. Do I have a favorite werewolf movie? Yeah, Teen Wolf. As much as I love Jason Bateman, Teen Wolf 2 just wasn't there for me. Just wasn't that great. But my favorite werewolf movie is definitely Teen Wolf 1. Awesome, awesome movie. I think if we got anything else, we'll address that. Otherwise, might be time to wrap it up. I'm at 33 minutes here. I wanted to go 30. Hopefully I will edit this and cut it down, get rid of some of the which I say a lot, which drives me nuts. You know, get rid of that, some of the maybe some of the spacing on here. Favorite baseball moment? Oh, man. It's got to be the last time the Mets won the series, man, 86. So, and I've still got that last game on VHS. I was considering actually copying that last game from VHS to my PC to put it on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. But I think it's already on YouTube in its entirety. So, I don't know. 86 not cool, bro. Why is that not cool? I got out of baseball. I used to be a gigantic baseball mark. I got out of it in the strike of 94 or 5 or 96, whenever that strike was. I kind of got turned off to it because of that. But on that note, I'm going to cut this off. We're at 36 minutes. I got to edit this. I got to get it uploaded. I got to get out of the house. I will see y'all later. Thank you guys on Periscope for joining me. We're at 11 right now. Again, we were at 41 before. I don't know what the hell happened. There was a lot of people in there talking. Now they're gone. But I hope you all have a good week. Check me out on Twitter at Joey Image, please. Check me out on Facebook at facebook.com/realjoeyimage. And you can find all my links and everything on thatimageguy.com. Remember to check out iTunes for this podcast, YouTube for this podcast, SoundCloud, and hopefully I get the Stitcher thing worked out. Again, according to them, it should only take like 2 to 3 business days, I think is what they said. And I signed up, I think it was Wednesday. So Monday should actually be 3 business days. So I should hear from them sometime this week. But I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you all for subscribing and downloading the podcast. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.